Quite a UFC homecoming for my next guest, Modestas Bukauskas, who earned a big win this past weekend at UFC 284. How's it going, Modestas?
Going very well, thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
First things first, man. I mean, just kind of tell me what's going on through your mind right now, the journey back to the UFC, getting the big win on Saturday. Do your best to kind of just explain what these past few days have been like for you.
Yeah, mate, it's been mad because I only just got back, not yesterday, day before. I freaking wasted a whole day by sleeping yesterday. I kind of got home. I thought, I'll take a 1 hour nap. Ended up being a 6 hour nap. So, but yeah, it's been mad. Like actually coming home and knowing that I'm in the UFC, knowing that I've got a win in the UFC again. Now my UFC license plate on my car makes sense again, which is great. Before it didn't really make sense, and now it does. So that's always good. But yeah, it's just a culmination of hard work, determination, perseverance, just the whole package. And like I say, by no means am I finished, and by no means am I done. I'm kind of already in the mindset of I want to get back on the horse, get back to work. I've only had a couple of days rest, I guess you could say, and I'm ready to get back to it. I just want to. I've taken a couple of days to eat some bad food and whatnot. So, but yeah, obviously it's an amazing experience. I'm back where I'm supposed to be, and I'm very happy. And I'm just, like I say, looking forward to the future.
And you've had a few days to reflect on your performance, the build-up, all that, getting the fight on short notice. But I guess, what do you feel like are some of the biggest differences between the fighter and person we saw during your first stint in the UFC to now?
The mindset, the mental. My skill set's always been there. I think to still, I haven't really expressed myself to the fullest capabilities. I've always had a problem of pulling the trigger and showing off what I can do. And people see me in the training room, they know I can do certain things. And it was really frustrating in that first run. It was really frustrating in that first run that I wasn't able to show myself fully. And it's just okay. I don't know what it was, maybe stage fright, or I don't know what it was, but maybe going through the darkness is what has enabled me to come out the way that I have now. I believe that this was all a learning curve, and this was all the road that had to be taken in order for me to go and express myself to the fullest capabilities. And now I feel like I'm ready to do that, and I wasn't ready the first time round. I'm older, I'm more mature. I've become a bit darker. I'm not the same. Yes, I'm still polite. I'm still, I like to be a good guy. I've still got a good heart, but I've definitely become a little bit more dark just because of what had happened to me. And I think that is what is needed in this fight game, is what is needed for me to perform at my best ability. And yeah, I'm just looking to build on that. I'm just looking to build on that. And but definitely, I would say that mindset is probably one of the biggest factors. And also, there's certain intricacies of the game that I hadn't worked on properly. Now I can switch stances, and stuff like that. So there's there's elements that have changed, and I feel this has made me better equipped to handle the top guys of the division now, and I wasn't ready to do that beforehand.
And you mentioned that it took a round to, get yourself going in the mind state and all that. I guess, was there a specific moment in the fight when you look back on it where you kind of woke yourself up? Was it in between rounds, or just kind of talk to me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, to be honest, the whole fight, I thought I was, I did what I had to do already from that first exchange when I tried to throw the front kick to the spinning hook kick, right at the beginning of the fight. That already got me into the fight. When I started landing those shots and stuff like that, like I say, the change of mindset is from like I say from previous fights to now. Like when I stepped into the cage this time round, I felt I don't know, no real hardcore nerves or anything like that. I just embraced the moment. I actually loved the booze, and I enjoyed the energy off from the crowd, because obviously they're rooting for the hometown boy. So it was actually quite cool to be in that whole environment. I really did enjoy it. But yeah, man, like now I just realized like I have to go in there to hurt the guy, and this is the kind of mindset I'm going into my fights. And although Tyson Pedro is a really nice guy and he's a really nice fella. I have to go and try and take him out as he's going to try and take me out. So, it's kill or be killed in there. And that's a mindset that I went into. But I definitely felt like I was quite, comfortable with my movements throughout every single round. But I did feel as well that I could have done more. This was like my Lee Chadwick fight of the UFC in a way, because I do feel like I could have done more. But, considering it was short notice and off of a plane literally on the Wednesday, I didn't do too bad.
And when you look back at, some of your recent fights, obviously just a couple months ago, you won the Cage Warriors light heavyweight title. But I got to feel like, especially with the journey you've been on and the process it took you back to get to the UFC, that you could call this conceivably the biggest win of your career. What are your thoughts on that?
100%. Definitely the toughest opponent I've had to date. Definitely the most skilled opponent I've had to date. Each fight and each stage of the career has their own particular difficulties and things that I need to obviously overcome in order to win. I had to face certain problems, and then obviously Tyson presented the most amount of problems. Obviously, fighting in the UFC and fighting at such a high level. So, yeah, man, it was just amazing to go and compete with such a high level guy and show my skill set as well, and show that I have loads of strengths as well. So it shows me that I can compete with the best of the best, and yeah, it was a great moment to finally go out there and do what I had to go.
Your cornerman, Will Curry, was getting a lot of love during the broadcast. Obviously, really energetic guy. I guess kind of just talk to me about how much he means to you having him in your corner, especially during a fight like that.
He's like my little brother. He definitely is. He's 24. He's going to be fighting for the Cage Warriors middleweight title on March 24th, which is absolutely amazing, which I'm going to be helping him prepare for. He's taught me a lot of things. He didn't train with me also like that crazy much before the Khalil fight. We trained, but we didn't train like consistently every week and stuff like that. And yet he was the first person out of everyone to come and see me at my house after that injury happened, after even the operation. So, he's been a massive force in my training camps, in my mental state. He's helped me learn a load of lessons that I needed. He's taught me things that you would expect me, being the older guy, to teach him, but it's him teaching me. And we've been able to share nuggets. Like now he's like a very solid training partner of mine. We've got a proper schedule that we have planned out. He helps me with the warm up, absolutely amazing. Like I said, a proper like I feel like he's we're bonded. I almost feel like we're bonded by blood. I feel like we're like brothers. And it's amazing to have such a guy like that in your corner, because he really does care about me, and obviously I really care about him. So along with my dad, who's another, like the freaking the boss, the coordinator, and then to have Will as well, who can help me in a very physical sense, because obviously he's younger than me, and he's athletic and in his prime. So it's amazing. Everything works together beautifully, and obviously he told me the right bits of corner advice, and he gets very emotional, and he puts a lot of passion into his work, into cornering me, which obviously I feel the same way for him. So these are the kind of guys you want in your corner, people who care about you, and I definitely have that with my dad and Will.
Now, what's your current, if you don't mind me asking, what's your current contract status with the UFC? Is it just one fight at a time, or is it a multi-fight deal? Or I guess, how does that work when you take a fight on short notice?
I believe it's 4 fights. I mean, okay. Obviously, if you don't perform, you're not going to get re-signed. But obviously, I feel like I think as long as I keep performing, I'll be with the UFC. But I believe it's 4 fights.
Awesome, man. And did you get a chance to watch the rest of the card? What were your thoughts on Volkanovski and Makhachev?
Mate, it was such a close fight. Such a close fight. Like, that was an absolute barn burner. Each had their moments. Each dropped each other. They obviously Makhachev's wrestling is seriously on point. Volkanovski did an amazing job to escape certain positions and land his strikes and to move up a weight class as well. What an absolute animal! Both of them are animals, to be honest with you. I thought the decision probably went the right way. It was very, very close though. It was very close. I had to like kind of watch back a couple of rounds and just think to myself, like, you know what I mean? It was a very, very close fight, but obviously hats off to Islam for getting the job done.
And what are we looking at in terms of a time frame for your return? Obviously, you're just a few days removed from UFC 284, but I got to think you're probably already itching to get back in there, get back in the gym. I guess just kind of talk to me a little bit about what you're thinking about right now.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be honest with you, I'm going to be back in training within the next couple of days here. You know me, I like to stay active. Obviously, I've got to help my training partner Will to prepare for his fight as well. I want to improve my skill sets. I want to be the best that I can be, obviously, as a martial artist and improve as much as I can. So yeah, bro. I mean, look, UFC London's right around the corner. If I can get on that, that'd be absolutely amazing. Like to actually fight in front of a hometown crowd instead of fighting again, in front of an opposing crowd. Obviously, I like to be part of the fun, like to be part of the action. I know that card's quite full, so whether it happens, I'm not really too sure that it will. But bro, I'll just stay ready. Whenever the call comes, whenever my manager says, "Here, we got a fight for you," I'll be ready. I'll be training. I'll stay in shape, and yeah, I'll be ready for whatever comes next.
So say you get that offer to fight at UFC 286. Who's an ideal opponent in your mind, do you think?
I mean, I've obviously called for it before. Whether it would happen again, we don't know. I mentioned it after in my post-fight interview at obviously UFC 284, which is to fight Paul Craig. I mean, obviously I understand he's quite high up in the division, so I understand that probably wouldn't make so much sense for him. But at the same time, like we're both from the UK. It's UK number one versus UK number two. Obviously on an English show, it would be. I think that'd be a freaking amazing draw. So like I say, whatever happens, I'll leave it up to the MMA gods to determine whether things happen or not. But obviously, I think that'll be an exciting matchup for the people.
And the last question from me, man. Once again, I really do appreciate the time. Just a few days removed from your win. There's a lot of people around the world that might have suffered setbacks in life and are overcoming challenges and adversity pretty much every day. As somebody that's worked your way back to the UFC and overcome some of those challenges, what's your message to those who are suffering setbacks in life, and what's your motivation and advice to get them to keep pushing forward?
Yeah, like, do you know what? I actually remember speaking to someone who's actually quite close to me and saying the same things. Like when you're going through it, when you're going, there's a saying that says, "This too shall pass." Right? It's like the storm. You're right in the center of the storm. It's freaking rain, lightning, thunder, everything just crapping down on you. But that will go away. The storm's not there forever, and that's the best way that the best analogy that I like to put on it. I went through probably one of the worst times that I've ever had in my life, never thinking I'd ever get through it. I was drinking myself to sleep. I was, I was in a really, really dark place, but it's always just trying to find small victories. It's just the thing about never giving up and never sort of giving in. Don't give in to the darkness that is consuming you at the time. Just know that you will get through it, and that if you write your goals down and go through things day by day, just work day by day. That's all you have to do. You don't worry about the big massive goal at the end of it. Like obviously the goal was to get back to the UFC, but I couldn't think of that straight away because it's such a bloody long way away. You have to think, what can I do each day to go towards my goal? There are going to be times that are going to break you down. There's going to be times that are going to like really just kill you mentally, physically, whatever. But you go through it because it makes you tougher. You've got to understand as well that these hard times just toughen you mentally, toughen you physically. It just toughens you as a person to be able to better handle bad situations in the future. You go through that, day by day. You go through your goals, you work, and that's exactly what I did, man. I was literally working through my physio. Okay, it's getting better day by day, getting better, getting better. Okay, now we're able to do, we're able to do sprawls. Oh, now we're able to do wrestling shots. Now we're able to do backflips. Now we're able to do kicks. Everything just goes day by day, and then you just keep working towards your goals. Just know that the hard times, they're always going to be there, but you just got to stay persistent and just keep working through, man, day by day. This too shall pass. And if you have that clear vision in your head, that vision will come true. You just got to stay true to it and understand that this is just all part of the process. That's it, basically.
Well, that's a heck of a way to end the interview, man. I really do appreciate the time and the inspirational words. It was great to meet you. Great to chat with you. Congrats again on the win. And I'm sure we'll chat again soon, man. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, thank you so much, my friend. And like I said, it was absolutely amazing meeting you also. You're an absolutely stand-up fellow, great guy. And looking forward to speak to you again in the future.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.